Talofa to you all. My name is Alima Danielu. Student ID number S11238340. I am locating here in Lalbela campus. Today I'm going to present with you my presentation with in UU 114. My question is question number 2, which is it says, how do cultural factors shape an individual's sense of identity in contemporary society? To what extent do Pacific Island cultural influences have a more significant impact on personal identity than individual choices in contemporary society? To begin with my presentation, my question: who am I? Who am I? This is an universal question that is deeply influenced by culture. In a contemporary society, identity is shaped by both cultural heritage and individual choices such as interest, career, and lifestyle. For Pacific peoples, cultural traditions, values, and collective belongings often played a particularly significant role in shaping identity. My central question: how do cultural factors shape identity today, and to what extent do Pacific Island cultural influences have more impacts than individual choices? So today I will explore this question through 3 key readings. The first one is Manuela and Anai, which talks about the ethnic identity and well-being. The second one is Enari and Lemus Suifewali, which talks about re-evolving or evolving Pacific identities. And the last one is Fehoko, which talks about the Faigava as a site of a Tongan identity. Identity is both personal, shaped by choices and experiences, and also social, shaped by family, community, and cultural background. Cultural factors include language, traditions, spirituality, values, and collective practices. For Pacific peoples, culture is not simply inherited. It is lived and performed through rituals, gatherings, and collective responsibilities. In contemporary context, globalization, migration, and digital spaces also influence identity. It also creating hybrid identities. Manuela and I, which talks about ethnic identity and well-being. This study highlights the relationship between ethnic identity and well-being for Pacific youth. Findings show that having a strong Pacific identity provides a sense of belonging, emotional resilience, and a better overall well-being outcomes. In contrast, youth who feel disconnected from their culture may experience identity conflict, leading to poorer well-being. This suggests that cultural factors such as ethnic identity are not just symbolic, but they really psychological and social impact. Individual choices, for example, adopting Western lifestyles, may influence identity, but they do not provide the same deep well-being benefits as strong cultural belonging. The second one, which is Enari and Lemus with Fewali, which talks about evolving Pacific or evolving Pacific identities. Their work explores how Pacific Islanders in contemporary societies negotiate hybrid and evolving identities. Pacific identities are not static. They are constantly reshaped in response to migration, which is the movement within and beyond the islands, especially to urban centers or overseas. Has This has exposed Pacific Islanders to new environments, leading to hybrid identities that blend traditional and modern influences. The second one, which intergenerational change. Uh, for example, as younger generations reinterrupt cultural values passed down from elders, identity evolves through a shift in language, customs, and priorities, often reflecting both continuity and adaptation. For the last point, which the new cultural changes, which the globalization, media and education have introduced new norms and lifestyles, promoting Pacific communities to renegotiate their cultural expressions while preserving core traditions. So, for example, young Pacific Islanders may express identity through fashion, music, digital, blending Pacific heritage with global trends. As I as I read before, in those examples I have mentioned. This shows that individual choices intersect with cultural heritage, but the cultural framework still provides the foundation. Their argument, Pacific identities are resilient and adaptive, rather than being replaced by individualism. They are reimagined in contemporary societal context. The last reading, which Fehoko, it talks about the Faikava as a site of identity in Tonga. Fehoko focuses on the Faikava, which the Kava drinking circle among Tongans in New Zealand. The Faikava is more than a social gathering. It is a cultural space that sustains our Tongan identity, languages, and values. For Tongan men in diaspora, the Faikava reaffirms cultural belonging in a foreign context. This illustrates how cultural practices remain central to identity even when individuals live in societies that emphasize individual choice. Despite pressures to assimilate, cultural spaces like Faikava demonstrate the enduring collective power of culture in shaping identity. Individual choices matter. Youth may choose to embrace Western educations, careers, or personal lifestyles that diverge from tradition. These choices contribute to self expression. However, the research suggests that cultural identity provides a deeper anchor from those core readings I have mentioned. Therefore, cultural factors often outweigh individual choices in shaping a person's core identity, while individual choices tend to shape surface expressions of self. To conclude my presentation, cultural factors remain central to identity formation in contemporary society, especially for Pacific peoples. While individuals make personal choices, these choices are filtered through the lens of cultural heritage, values, and collective belonging. Pacific Island cultural influences not only preserve identity but also adapt to contemporary context, ensuring relevance and generations across generations. Ultimately, culture and choice are not opposite, but in Pacific context, culture provides foundation upon which individual choices are made. Closing thought: for Pacific people, identity is less about who am I, who am I alone, and more about who am I in relation to my culture, my community, and my ancestors. Ancestors. Thank you very much for listening. Feel free to answer your question. Bye.